Hello everyone! I want to share a quick example about working with Alexa footage in Flame and how to use the color management during the whole project. The more you get into color management, the more you realize that there is not only one way to get the things right. Actually, there are a lot of recipes that you can use depending on your needs. And in Flame, once you get familiar with that, it's awesome the way that you can control your color pipeline. So let's begin. The first thing I'm gonna do is to create a new project, and I will keep the color policy in Legacy, so we can start from the scratch. Here I have two clips, one from the camera and another from the cutting room, let's say. As you can see, the one from camera is logarithmic, while the edit reference is video rec 709. Let's say that it comes after apply a standard Alexa LogC. So how can I match the color from these two clips? Okay, so I'm gonna bring both clips to the batch where you can see more clear the transformations I'm gonna apply. Adding a custom color transformation selecting Camera LogC to HD video, it will give you the look if nobody else added any other transformation previously. But as you probably know, the result of this transformation is in Rec 709 color space. So how can we work in log or linear watching at the right colors? The first thing that we need is to define our workflow. Let's say we receive the footage from camera and we final deliver in Rec 709. That would be a very common example. Conforming in LogC from camera, visual effects, if there is any CG involved, should be in linear, for color grading in logarithmic of course, and graphics finishing and delivering in video Rec 709. Next thing to do, we need to tag the media. You can do it while importing the footage. Just selecting from file or rules, Flame would be able to apply the tag, reading the metadata if there is any, as you can see in the ARRI raw or in QuickTime. But in this MXF, which is coming from Alexa also, tag was not applied. And it's here where the input rules are very helpful. Because I set up my project in Legacy, there is no input rules and just the conventional viewing rules. If I would choose Send Linear, that would be the rules. For rules example preset, it would be these ones, ACES 1.1 these ones, and ACES 1.0 these other ones. These color policies are just presets, where you can start working from. And if you want, you can create your own. So I don't need to create a new project, I'm just gonna import the import rules from rules example project. And here we have two new rules for tagging in LogC. One based on the pattern LogC in the name, and another using the camera name from the file. Also, you can create your own rules if you need it. As a result, the MX file from Alexa will be tagged automatically. These clips are already imported, so I will apply the tag on desktop. Let's go back to batch. Now, you see the viewport switch depending on the clip we are selecting. When a clip tag in video is selected, viewport switch to video, which led us to look to the right color. When you select a clip that is tagged in LogC, viewport switch to log. But why do you not see the right colors? Because the log curve that is applied on the viewport, it's a standard one. It is not specific for Alexa footage, and it's here where we need to catch up with the viewing rules. So I will do the same. Import the ones from rules example project. New viewing rules show up, and at the very top we can find the Alexa rendering one. Have a look that the rule it would be allowed when the node or clip is tagged in LogC Alexa Wet Gamut. Now colors totally match, because we are applying the Alexa rendering in the viewport, and as you can see, you can bypass it anytime. Well, let's continue. Our conform will be in LogC as the grading session. Now it is time for the visual effects before grading. Depending on what you need to accomplish, you can take many roads here. You could keep working on log for any easy task, but in compositing, as you probably know, it is recommended to work in Send Linear. If you want to transform from log to linear, just add a color management node and select Input Transform. The input color could be LogC, and the working color space could be in Send Linear Alexa Wet Gamut, for example. Once the clip has been transformed to linear, the viewport transform will change to ACES, and the colors will look quite different. Why? Because the Alexa rendering option won't be listed anymore. Why? Because the Alexa rendering viewing rule was just allowed under the LogC tag. So we just need to allow it in this rule to any Send Linear or log, and the Alexa rendering transform will be back listed on the viewport. In this way, we will look at the right colors working in any linear color space. Once the compositing is done, we will apply the invert transformation from the same linear color space to LogC, and it will be ready for grading. Keep in mind, while the compositing is in linear, we always can take advantage working in other color spaces. In this case, we could use LogC for a key matte extraction, for example. Also, for tracking, sometimes you can get different results depending on the color space you are working on. Most probably because the tracking tool is not looking at the colors applying the view transform selected in the viewport. That's why most of the time I prefer to do the tracking task in a video color space. Usually this technique helps with the dark areas, but that is up to you. If you need to export your clips to other artists, you must need to pay attention in which SN linear color space you share those clips. When you work standalone, you can choose your own path, but once a team is involved, you have to choose accordingly to the color pipeline design. One of the best choices would be ACCG, but if there is not color pipeline defined between artists, I would recommend you to go with a safer option, using SN linear sRGB Rec 709. If at any time you want to export your clip in Rec 709, Rec 2020 or sRGB, I would recommend you to use the color management view transform. By default, it applies the view transform from rules, and it could be used from any source, linear or log, as you can see. But remember, this transformation doesn't have a way back. Now it's time for a color grading in log. And the result in most of the cases would be in video Rec 709 as this example. But we could keep working in log or any other SN linear workspace. For example, we could switch to ACES APO for archive purposes. Everything is depending on your needs. As we planned, finishing, graphics and delivery will be done in video Rec 709 color space. If during the finishing I need to comp in linear, I can use an input transform from my source to SN linear Rec 709, for example. In this case, I would select the linear gamma corrected transformation in the viewport. In this way, I will look at the same colors I have in video. Once the comp is done, I will apply the invert transformation instead the view transformation. As you can see, there are many ways to get what you need. And last, remember, once your color management preferences are set up, you can export it as a new color policy for future projects. And that's all. Whoa, what a great session. Thank you very much if you reached this point. I hope this video was helpful for you. I learned from a lot of people, but I'm gonna take the chance to honor this gentleman, Emilio Perez. He teach me a lot of stuff, color management included. He was a very good artist, very involved in Flame, such a great friend of mine, and many others. He passed away while I was doing this video, and I will try to follow his example sharing with positivity and enthusiasm. Thanks for watching, take care, see you in the next one.